Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kayak Mike. We're going to go over the main points of the Sandusky event that you need to know. I'm going to start off with how to measure a fish, just in case you get a disqualification during the event. You can come back to this video and watch immediately on what you need to do. So, up at Sandusky, you're mainly going to catch channel cats. There's no blues up there. I'll be very shocked if a blue is caught. You aren't disqualified. Your fish doesn't get disqualified if you select the incorrect species. Because when you submit a fish, it'll say channel cat, blue cat, flathead. If you select the incorrect species, don't worry about it. I can fix that down the road. Just leave the submission as is. Um, so here's a channel cat. Channel cats and blue cats have to be measured right side down, left eye up. Have to. You have no other choice. They have to be measured right side down, left eye up. You need your identifier in the picture. Your identifier is going to look like this. You're going to get 5 playing cards. Each playing card will have our logo on it. I don't care which side is up. It could be the playing card side. It could be the other side. Both sides have our logo. My strong suggestion is use one at a time. You're going to catch so many fish up here more than likely that you might lose an identifier at some point in time throughout the event. So that's why I'm giving you 5. Do not put all 5 of your identifiers in the same bag, because if you lose your identifiers, you lost. You don't get your fee returned because you lost your identifiers. That you gotta be more responsible than that. So your identifier has to be in the photo. I don't care where you put it. Brandon Hunter in this photo just so happens to have it on top of the fish. It doesn't matter to me where you put it. My suggestion is don't have it on the fish. Because if this fish flops around, if this fish flops his tail up really hard, he could send this identifier flying. My other suggestion is make sure the identifier is in a waterproof bag. All right, going on. I need to see the entire fish. So, guys, let's say you submit the picture like this. Hold on. Let's say you submit the picture and what you see, and I see this. I'm going to DQ it. I need to see the entire fish. If I don't see the entire fish at this tournament, I'm going to disqualify your fish. I need to see the entire fish in the photo. You see how in this video I can see the entire fish? The entire fish needs to be in the photo. It needs to be clearly bumped. I don't care if the fish is still hooked. I don't care if you have grippers in the fish's mouth. I don't care if you're holding the mouth or holding the mouth with your hand. As long as I can obviously tell that the fish is bumped, you're fine. If it is not plain as day that the fish is bumped, you're going to get some kind of disqualification or reduction. If the fish's nose isn't bumped, it's more than likely going to be an inch or two reduction. It probably won't be a full disqualification unless it's really bad. Moving on, the tail. The farthest part touching the measuring surface is what counts for your score. So you see down here, hypothetically speaking, you see this tail that is off of the board. Let's say this part of the tail was up here at the 33-inch mark. You would not get credit for 33 inches because it's not on the measuring surface. You only get scored for what's on the measuring surface, and you score in quarter-inch marks. So you see how he submitted this at 32.25 inches? Well, 32 inches. The next mark is 0.25. The next mark is 0.50. It's past 0.25, but it's before 0.50. So it's a 32.25 inch submission. This is a perfect submission. Brandon Hunter, courtesy of you, he caught this at Hoover Reservoir. This is a perfect submission. If you guys need to look into what a perfect submission looks like, find Brandon Hunter's channel cat at the Hoover Cat Tournament, and that's exactly what you need to do. Right side down, left eye up, identifier in the photo somewhere. I suggest not putting on the fish. You can if you want, suggest not putting it on the fish. You're going to have 5 identifiers. That's if you lose them. Either side of the identifier can be up. I don't care if you put the color side up or the not color side up. Both sides of the identifier have our logo. That's fine. I just have to see that card somewhere. The nose has to be bumped. The left eye has to be up, and your furthest part of the fish touching the board is the scoring part of the fish. So again, if you're between 2 quarter-inch marks, go down to the quarter-inch mark you just passed. In this case, this tail is between 32.25 and 32.5. Therefore, it is a 32.25 scored fish. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to submit a fish. Real quick, to make this even easier on yourself, when you open up the tournament, this is what the tournament page looks like. On your right-hand side here, there might be a little wheel. You're not going to have all these options that I do, but at the bottom, there'll be this thing called default view. If you click off on default view, what that will do is every single time you open this app, it's going to automatically come to the tournament. That way you don't have to open up the app, find your profile, find the tournament, go to the tournament, submit the catch. Go to the tournament that you're part of, the Sandusky tournament. On this right-hand side, go down to default view and click on default view. Now, I'm going to show you how to submit a fish. So before the tournament starts, this is what your phone's going to look like. It's going to say view rules and register. Once you register, the registers button will be gone. There will be view rules and register, and that's it. Once the tournament starts, now this is a tournament that I'm currently part of. This is what it's going to look like. Show details, show description, view rules, tournament dashboard, submit catch. I'm going to show you exactly how to submit a catch, and we're going to use Brandon Hunter's Hoover channel cat as an example. It's going to be identical on your phone as it is on a computer. So don't worry about it looking different. It won't. It'll be completely identical. You click on submit catch. You will select the species that you're about to submit. So it's more than likely going to be a channel cat. So these are going to be your three options. Select channel cat. Length, don't type in your length first. Grab the photo that you want to submit. So click on add photo. When you click on add photo, it's going to go directly to your gallery. You're going to find the picture that you want. You're going to double click on that picture, or not double click. You're going to click on that picture with your finger. Now it's down here. Before I submit the length, I always double check it. Even on your phone, you'll have this little plus button. You can hit that plus button with your finger, 32.25. So what you will do is you will click on length, type in 32.25. You'll scroll down. This is where you're submitting the fish from. This is not where you caught the fish. You will not see your eSIF data. Only I will see your eSIF data on the back end. The eSIF data is not here. You can pull your own eSIF data up in the gallery if you go look at your photo information, but it's not here on this submission page. This is just where you're submitting it from. And then configure selections. If you're in multiple tournaments, you can click on every single leaderboard you want to submit it to. So we'll hit OK. It'll automatically default to the tournament you're in. And then you'll hit submit. It's uploading. Now, I submitted it as a channel cat, so it should pop up here in just a few seconds that I have submitted a channel cat. Let me refresh this. Kayak Mike 32.25-inch channel cat. There it is. Boom. And that is how you submit a fish on the app itself. So if you are new, this is how you register for the tournament. So when you first go to, let's just go to the Fishing Chaos app in general. Everything you see on my monitor is identical to your phone once you get into the app. So once you download the app, let me just go to login. Once you download the app, it will probably take you to this, the Trail Club. You make a profile. You come up here, make a profile, change all your personal information, etc. Go to Trail Club, type in online catfishing tournaments. You'll find us right there. First thing you have to do is become a member. If you don't become a member first before signing up, you're going to cause me a lot of headaches. Now, am I going to disqualify you from the tournament if you don't become a member first? No. But if you don't become a member, you're going to mess up the points. I'm going to have to do a lot of manual adjustments after the fact, and it's just really a pain in the butt. So you have to become a $15 OCT member before you join this. It's really simple. On this club page, right where this info button is, there'll be a join now button. If you are a previous member signing up again, there'll be a rejoin now button or something along those lines. Click on it. Really simple. It'll ask for your name, credit card information. You pay your $15 membership. Then you can sign up for the tournament. Go to tournaments. Go to Not Marine National Kayak Catfishing Trail. Here's our Sandusky event. Click on Sandusky. You'll scroll down. You'll click on register. And then it's self-explanatory. After you are a member of the club, you can then register for the event. Let's go through some of the rules and checkpoints as we go down this the main part of the tournament. So if you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook first off and foremost. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm not fishing the event. My kayak's actually being used to fish the event. We're trying to get as many people in this tournament as possible. So I'll be monitoring my phone. I'll be on a laptop all day checking submissions, etc. The registration cutoff is this Saturday at 4 p.m. That's when we're having our initial packet pickup and board checks. The cutoff, if you don't sign up by this Saturday at 4 p.m., I can't promise you I'm going to let you sign up after because I want to get all the administration done before the first packet pickup. That's how we've been doing it the last two events. We haven't had any issues, but I know there are some new people. This Saturday by 4 p.m., you need to be registered. If you, for whatever reason you cannot register by this Saturday at 4 p.m., you have to message me. If you don't message me, I'm going to find it really hard to give you that leeway to sign up late. The board check / packet pickup is going to be at the Clemens boat ramp, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. this Saturday, which is technically, let me give you the date, the 17th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. The 17th, Saturday the 17th at Clemens Boat Ramp is when we're going to have the packet pickup. You are going to receive all 5 of your identifiers. You're going to receive a chip with a number on it. You have to have your muskie bumper there. That's where I measure your board, do a right angle on your board, and make sure everything's hunky-dory there. You do not have to have your kayak there. There's no kayak inspection. The morning of, you get the trailer wherever you want. You don't have to have your kayak there the night before. If you cannot make the board check packet pickup on Saturday, Sunday morning, starting at 6 a.m. at Clemens Boat Ramp, I'll be doing board checks and packet pickup. You cannot fish this event if you do not get your board checked by me. So if you have two choices, you either come to the board check packet pickup on Saturday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Clemens, or you show up Sunday morning at 6 a.m. at Clemens Boat Ramp for board check packet pickup. Those are your only two options. If I do not do a board check and you're registered and you start submitting fish, I'm sorry, you're disqualified. I have to do a board check and you have to get the identifiers from me at those locations and times. Let's see here. Let's keep going down. Lines in 7 a.m. on Sunday. Lines out 3 p.m. on Sunday. All fish must be submitted by 4 p.m. on Sunday. You must be on dry land at Clemens Boat Ramp by 4 p.m. on Sunday. No exceptions. If you are not on dry land by 4 p.m. at Clemens Boat Ramp on Sunday, you are disqualified. I don't care if you won the tournament. I don't care if you came in last. You're disqualified. And no money back. You get 50 points for signing up, and that's it. You only get trail point race points. You have to be back at Clemens by 4 p.m. I don't care if it's traffic. So if you're going to drive 45 minutes away to launch somewhere else on Sandusky Bay, that's fine. You do not have to launch at Clemens Boat Ramp in the morning. I don't care what time you get on the water. There's no bait fishing in the morning. You can throw your cast net in the morning. If you want to collect bait, you're allowed to throw your cast net in the morning. But from midnight until 7 a.m. when lines are in, you cannot put a single line in the water. You are disqualified if you are caught doing that. You cannot fish for bait even with rod and reel before 7 a.m. on tournament day. You can throw your cast net. That's fine. If you want to collect fresh bait the morning of with the cast net, don't care. Go ahead and do that. But you can trailer anywhere you want. If you're going to trailer 45 minutes away and you hit traffic on the way back, even if you message me and tell me you're on your way back, I don't care. It is your responsibility to get to Clemens Boat Ramp by 4 p.m. in the flesh on dry land. If you do not make it back there, you are disqualified. Now, do you have to drive there if you trailer? No. So hypothetically speaking, let's say you launch from a launch across the bay. 3 o'clock rolls around. You're allowed to just take your kayak to Clemens Boat Ramp and check in that way. That's perfectly fine. And then you can leave the Clemens Boat Ramp and go back to your launch. Perfectly fine. No issues with that whatsoever. You made the check-in. You hit dry land from Sandusky Bay. You made the check-in. You're perfectly fine. That's fine. But at some point in time between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m., you must be on dry land at Clemens Boat Ramp. If I have not made that abundantly clear and you mess this up, I do not feel bad. If you want to leave early before 3 p.m. and you still want your fish to count, all you have to do is I will give you a chip. You're getting a poker chip with a number on it. Find my black Jeep at Clemens Boat Ramp before you leave and drop your chip off in the bucket. There will be a bucket near one of my tires. Drop your chip off in the bucket. My strong suggestion is send me a personal message on Facebook that you're leaving early and drop the chip off. If you do not drop the chip off, you are disqualified. No ifs, ands, or buts. You cannot message me and say, hey, I'm leaving, just so you know. You're completely disqualified. You only get 50 points for the trail if you do not return your chip. The way you the way your fish will still count towards the final score is if at some point in time you do that final check-in at Clemens Boat Ramp. I've only said it 30 times so far in the last 3 minutes. You got to return to Clemens Boat Ramp in person at some point in time before you leave, and it has to happen before 4 p.m. This is a kayak only event. No bank, no only bank fishing allowed. No boats allowed. Kayak fishing event. Your kayak has to be kayak out of the box. It has to be registered as a kayak. That doesn't mean you have to register your kayak. If your state doesn't require you to register it, that's fine. What I mean is, the company manufactures it as a kayak. So if I looked up your vessel online, it would be sold as a kayak. Let's see here. You're allowed to bank fish using your kayak to get to that bank fishing location. So let's say the weather turns up, it starts to rain, you caught 75 fish and you just need a break, but you don't want your baits out of the water. You're allowed to go to the bank and bank fish. The kayak has to be the rod holder. I don't care where you and your kayak has to remain in eyesight at all times. The moment that kayak loses your eyesight, you have to get back in your kayak, reel all your rods in, launch, and then come back. Um, if you're gonna bank fish using your kayak as a rod holder, cast all your baits out, put your rods back in your kayak. You don't have to sit in your kayak. You can sit up on the rocks. You can bring a chair. You can sit on a chair. Don't care. If a fish hits, run over, grab your rod. You can stand next to your kayak, reel the fish in, land the fish, measure the kayak, submit the photo. That's fine. You don't have to be in the kayak if you're bank fishing, but the kayak must be the rod holder. This is to prevent people, not so much on Sandusky Bay because there's a 3 rod limit, but imagine down in Tennessee if we said you could bank fish, somebody could bring 20 rods and then set up a rod 100 yards that way, 75 yards that way, 50 yards that way, 25 yards that way, have 3 in the kayak, and you can cover a quarter-mile stretch if you're bank fishing. That's why the kayak must be the rod holder. Now, if you walk away from your kayak and cast, that's fine, but now you got to walk your rod all the way back and have all that extra line out, and hook sets with that much line out isn't really that great. So, yes, you can bank fish, must obtain your spot by your kayak. Kayak must be the rod holder. Kayak can never leave your sight at any point in time. If you're bank fishing, the kayak must be visible in the photo submission, and it must be an identifiable piece of your kayak. My strong suggestion, leave your musky bumper inside of your kayak if you're going to bank fish. Take your fish, put it inside of your kayak with the musky bumper, and just take the picture of the fish inside of the kayak on top of your musky bumper, even if you're bank fishing. You cannot screw up if you do that. If you take that musky bumper outside of your kayak and put it on the ground, part of that kayak, an identifiable piece of that kayak must be in the photo. If it's just the side of that kayak and there's no logo, there's nothing that's extremely identifiable about that kayak in that photo, I'm going to fully disqualify that fish. Um, Remember, this is a kayak tournament. We really want everyone fishing in their kayaks, but we allow the bank. You have to have the bank fishing rule for kayaks. If you don't have it, just there's too many things that could go wrong. You got to have safety back ends, etc., backups, etc. All state laws apply. It's a 3 rod per kayak per person limit, so per kayak you're allowed 3 rods. Check the Ohio laws for bait regulations. Long story short, if you catch it legally on rod and reel and you obtain any length minimums on the body of water, you can use that fish as bait, as cut bait. Shad's fine to use as bait. Carp sheet fine to use as bait. There's essentially anything you catch in Ohio you can use as bait. You can net forage fish and use them as bait. Shad, carp, buffalo might be considered a forage fish. Look that up. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, if you get any tickets, and I find out you get a ticket, you are disqualified. If I retroactively find out you get a ticket, I will ask for the money back, and you are disqualified. If you do not give the money back, if I find out you got a ticket, you are banned from OCT forever. We haven't had that issue. I highly doubt we're ever going to have that issue, but yeah, just don't get a ticket. Just be smart. This Saturday and Sunday coming up, you do not need a license. So if you fish Saturday and Sunday, you do not need a license to fish in Ohio. It is free fishing weekend. If you're pre-fishing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you don't have a license and you get a ticket, that's on you. I don't have any rules about pre-fishing getting a ticket. I'm telling you to get a license. If you run the risk of not, Sandusky is one of those places that actually has decent DNR uh, rotations, not rotations, but like you know what I'm trying to say. You're running the risk. Don't get a ticket pre-fishing, and just pay the $25 or whatever it is for the days that you're pre-fishing. However, Saturday, Sunday, you don't need a license to fish at all this weekend. Kayak registration. It's whatever your state law is. If you're fishing in Ohio and you have a motor on your kayak, it needs to be registered, and you got to have numbers on the boat. I asked them today. I went and registered my kayak today, and I asked them today, hey, is there any leniency from the day you buy it till, do you have like 90 days to register your kayak and put numbers on it? In Ohio, I was told there's no leniency. The day you buy the boat, you have to register it that day, as my daughter pops up right here. The day you buy your boat, it has to be registered. So if you're an Ohio resident and you are not your kayak's not registered, you're liable to get a ticket. If you get a ticket, you're going to get disqualified. What else? Boundaries. Let me pull up Sandusky Bay. Boundaries are really, really simple. Right here, you see where Johnson's Island is? Come over here. There's a peninsula, and then there's Cedar Point. Make an imaginary line from this peninsula all the way to Cedar Point. That is the east boundary. You cannot go out into the main lake from there. Everything else west of that imaginary line is legal waters. As long as it's navigable from the main Sandusky Bay, all of this water is legal water. The Muddy Creek Bay is legal. All these tributaries are legal as long as it's navigable. I'll define what navigable means is. What navigable means is you can paddle into it, turn around paddling, and paddle out of it without ever having to leave your vessel, and your vessel never touches the bottom of the river. Now, if you're going to go through 6 inches of water and you're going to paddle and you don't get out of your kayak, but you're paddling yourself through and you're pushing yourself through the bottom of the river or the tributary, that's not navigable water. That does not count. So navigable water is you can paddle into it, you can turn around, and you can get out of it. You have to have all of your GPS and timestamps turned on your phone. The way to guarantee this: uninstall the app now, the day of the tournament, whenever. Uninstall the app. Go into your photo sections. Allow date, time, and GPS location to all your photos within whatever phone you're using. Your Samsung, your Android, your iPhone, Google phone, whatever you're using. Allow the device or allow the app that you take pictures with everything: GPS, time, date, everything. Once you allow all those permissions, re-download the Fishing Chaos app. And when you download it and open it for the first time, it'll say, give what permissions? Give every single permission to Fishing Chaos. Because if you do not have your ESIF data is your GPS and timestamp. If I do not see that on your photos, you are going to get your fish disqualified. I'm going to try my best to find everyone's first fish they submit and make sure they're submitting them correctly. And if you're not, I will shoot you a message as quickly as possible. Remember, there's probably going to be 500 to 1,000 fish submitted to this tournament alone, potentially. Last year, we had 118 fish submitted between 13 anglers, and we had about 750 fish caught, roughly, give or take, some here or there. They didn't submit every fish because not every fish made the cut. The app will automatically cull your small fish. This is your 5 biggest fish. If you have 5 30-inch fish and you catch a 31-inch fish, just submit it. The app will automatically knock your smallest one off the board. You don't have to worry about knocking any of your fish off the board manually. The app will do that. What else? Yeah, GPS timestamps. If I go in and I see your GPS is somewhere outside of the boundaries that I just mentioned, then you are disqualified. Or that fish is disqualified. Actually, that's I'll go check that out. No, you're fully disqualified. The moment you fish outside of our boundaries, you're disqualified. That's illegal fishing. If you fish illegally in the tournament, you're disqualified. Yeah, if you submit a fish, if you fish out of bounds and submit a fish out of bounds, you're completely disqualified from the event. What else? Identifier and checking in rules. I already explained that. Let's see here. All payouts are done via PayPal, no exception. If you cannot accept money via PayPal, just either don't sign up or ask for your money back right now. I do all payouts via PayPal, no exceptions. This is for tracking purposes, audit purposes. Also, when I first started doing this, some people use Zelle, some people use Cash App, some people use PayPal, some people used Facebook Pay. I'm not doing all that. You either receive your payout via PayPal or you don't fish my events, period. And last but not least, what else? There was one more thing I wanted to say. The pay scale will be available. It should be available prior to the tournament. I'm trying to figure out. We have $7,000 guaranteed to pay out between all the sponsors, Big Fish, etc. We had a chance at one more sponsor that fell through, so now I know exactly how much money we have. I'm going to be working on that pay scale tomorrow, and I should have that posted up. But yeah, any questions, hit me up. Those are the big ones. I strongly suggest go to YouTube, go to the Online Catfishing Tournaments YouTube page, go to the playlist, important 2023 videos.
Do more on the new Samsung.
On this right-hand side, one, the first video, the second video, the third video, the fourth video, and the sixth video. Those are the videos you really should watch in addition to this to guarantee you don't screw up. Our rules are within the tournament page right here, view rules. This can be a little daunting. This can look a little intimidating. There's 17 pages of rules. I promise you, if you watch the videos I told you to watch on here and you follow them, you watch this video, you don't necessarily have to read this. These are this is like a 17-page document, but there's a bunch of minutia rules in there. This is like code of conduct. This is how to measure the fish correctly, which I already went over in the video. This is, COVID-19 protocols. Like, you don't have to read all 17 pages of this to be able to compete in our events. Are there things in here that are important? Sure. But this is more along the lines of just understanding the scene as a whole. As far as competition rules are concerned, well, I went over almost all of them in this video, and if you watch this playlist, you will be fine. Any questions, hit me up, Kayak Mike on Facebook. Otherwise, best of luck. I'll see you guys Saturday and Sunday, and Kayak Mike out of here.